Okay, so now we'll discuss naman the consolidation principles. So from the title itself, consolidation principles, just a quick warning, this is gonna be very wordy. As in, wala tayong problems na isa-solve ngayon. It's very wordy, very theoretical. So baka makatulog kayo, makatulog din ako. Magkape muna kayo, anak. Okay, so for the overview, we'll discuss pre-assessment steps, elements of control, and then assessments, special cases wherein we have to evaluate whether there is control or none. And then, ano ba yung mga guiding principles natin when you do consolidation? First, the pre-assessment steps. Ito, basically, these steps, it is being required by IFRS 10, basically to evaluate all our investees, and we have to evaluate them separately. So, evaluate mo si investee A, investee B separately. And these steps are necessary for us to check ano ba yung the reason why we bought the investee, and then ano yung purpose niya, design, and then its activities. Kasi useful siya in assessing control. Okay, ang sabi kasi natin, the group includes the parent and all companies and other interests in which the company or the parent company has obtained control. So dapat daw, para when we say group kasi, it's actually pertaining to the list of companies na isasama mo for consolidation. So meaning when we say group, nandiyan si parent and all its subsidiaries. So, pwedeng nandiyan si ultimate parent, meron kang intermediate parent, and then you have your subsidiaries. Okay, ang sabi, dapat daw may control ka para makasama siya dun sa consolidation group mo. Okay, ano ba para malaman mo kung may control ka o wala? It's basically covered by the three elements. So, first is power, second, yung returns, and then third, the link between power and returns. Isa-isahin natin. For power, dapat daw meron kang existing rights that give the current ability to direct the relevant activities of the investee. Take note, ang sabi niya lang rights. It's not necessarily limited to voting rights. You can actually evaluate the contractual rights as long as they are substantive rights. Okay? So, dapat you have the ability to govern the decision-making process of the company to the company based on the relevant activities. Then, exposure or rights to variable returns. The key term here is variable. So, dapat daw variable yung returns mo. Kasi yung pang third, i-check mo yung relationship ng power mo, may effect ba siya dun sa return mo. So, dapat nag-iiba-iba yung return. When your return is fixed, like for example, preferred shares, diba? Yung preferred shares mo, kunwari 10% preferred shares. So, your return is limited or fixed to 10% only. So, kapag ganon, then perhaps hindi mo siya isasama kasi dapat variable para you have control, para may effect yung power mo dun sa returns. Then ito, sabi nga natin, not necessarily voting rights, yung pagde-decide mo kung may control ka or hindi. Diba dati before we just assume na when you have more than 50% voting rights, then you automatically have control over that entity. Ngayon, hindi na siya ganon. It is specified na based on the definition of control as set by IFRS 10, meron kang special cases na dapat i-consider. Ito yung mga, just a number of scenarios, special cases. Kunwari, you have large minority holdings. Halimbawa ako, I bought a subsidiary for just 30%. So, pag tinignan mo yung 30%, ay hindi siya more than 50%. So, parang hindi siya majority voting rights. Pero tingnan mo yung scenario. Kunwari, the remaining 70% is owned evenly by 70 minority shareholders. So, meron silang tagwa 1%. Pagdating sa botohan, yung tagwa 1% na yon, ako pa din yung masusunod kasi I have 30%. So, doon, when you have large minority shareholdings na masyadong diverse yung positions nila, magkakaiba silang tao. So, perhaps, i-check mo, am I able to govern the decision-making process? So, may power ako. And then, do I have variable returns? So yun, possibly when you have less than 50% voting rights, pwede ka mag-qualify for control. The next, potential voting rights if substantive. Okay. An example of a potential voting rights is kapag meron kang preferred shares. Okay. Preferred shares na convertible to common shares kasi may potentially maging voting rights siya to common shareholdings. So, yung the potential voting rights on a case-to-case basis, you have to evaluate the presence of it kasi possibly ma-dilute yung control mo. Meron ka na palang control pero since meron kang substantive na potential voting rights, then possibly baka ma-dilute siya, mawalan ka ng control. So, you have to consider that. Next, for special purpose entities and structured entities, SPEs are actually those entities like, for example, si parent company nag-set up siya ng another subsidiary. Pero si subsidiary niya, sinet up niya lang for a specific purpose. Halimbawa, the typical purpose is to manage financial risk. Halimbawa, doon niya lang ida-direct yung specific risky investments or risky transactions para if ever mabankrupt yun, limited yung liability ni SPE sa kanya lang. Hindi ko kailangan as a parent na hindi ako masyadong ma-exposed. Okay. Ngayon, yung special purpose entities, dapat i-check mo pa din yung 3 elements of control and evaluate that kasi hindi na lang siya limited sa risk. Dapat you have to check risk and the returns. You also have to check the control side, ang tawag doon, the power, number 1, the power, and also the risk, the relationship of your power and the risk or returns. Delegated power in certain instances when you have a principal-agent situation or relationship. Kasi diba we have, again, babalik ka ulit dun sa 3 elements of control kung isa kang agent. Hindi mo naman talaga siya own, but you were interested to manage that investment. Do you have control? So balik ka dun sa, do you have power? Possibly kasi sa'yo nga binigay, but do you have return, exposure to returns, variable returns, and then the link between the two. The next, investment entities, it is actually one of the consolidation exemptions. So, hindi mo siya necessarily kailangan isama. Kasi these are investment entities, these are companies na bumibili sila ng shareholdings to another company not to gain control, but just to, halimbawa, gusto niya lang mag-earn ng dividends or investment income or capital appreciation. Limited doon. Pero the intention to manage or govern the company is not there. Okay, last. We'll discuss about the consolidation principles. So, ano ba yung mga kailangan nating i-consider, kailangan nating gawin, or i-remind ng sarili natin when we are doing the consolidation. First, when you consolidate, you have to eliminate all intra-group transactions or intercompany transactions and the parent's investment. The parent's investment, we know, in-eliminate talaga natin yan, di ba? For the intra-group, halimbawa, nagbentahan yung si parent saka si subsidiary. Ang purpose mo kasi ng consolidation is parang ang tingin mo sa kanilang dalawa kay parent and subsidiary is one entity na sila. They belong under one group or one company in substance. So, since one entity na lang sila, dapat yung mga transactions nila sa isa't isa, hindi na ma-reflect, hindi na ma-doble. Halimbawa, si parent, nagpautang siya kay subsidiary. So, meron siyang receivable, may parent si subsidiary. Si parent, meron siyang receivable, si subsidiary, may payable siya. The receivable ni parent and payable ni subsidiary should be eliminated when you present the consolidated financial statements. Kasi parang utang mo na lang yun sa sarili mo. So, yan, that's just one of the many examples of the possible scenarios of intra-group transactions, and we'll discuss about that in details for our succeeding chapters or modules. Next, uniform accounting policies. Halimbawa, si parent, ang gamit niya for inventory valuation is FIFO. So, dapat si subsidiary, ganun din for similar types of inventories, di ba? So, dapat uniform. You have to apply the same accounting policies. Kasi when you consolidate, as one na lang kayo. Then next, same reporting date. Hindi pwedeng June yung ending ni parent to si subsidiary December. So, dapat pareho sila. What if si subsidiary that is reporting for December year-end, tas si parent June year-end nga. So, kailangan mag-decide sila kung kailan ang reporting ni consolidated. And then, dapat magbangga sila. You can make adjustments para same reporting date. And then next, allocation of comprehensive income and equity to NCI. One unique characteristic or element of the consolidated financial statements is pagdating mo ng equity, hati siya sa dalawa. Okay, it is the first portion is the equity attributable to the parent company, and then the second is the non-controlling interest. When you say equity attributable to the parent company, that's gonna be the common shares, preferred shares, or shares, then additional paid in retained earnings, the usual. Pero lahat yon attributable to parent lang. So, sa retained earnings, ang papasok lang doon yung share ni parent sa net income. Tapos, yung dividends na i-minus mo lang doon, yung dividends declared by parent. Okay. Pagdating mo ng NCI, nandun lahat yung components mo. From the beginning, NCI as of acquisition date. And then, ang i-add mo doon yung share ni NCI sa net income. Tapos yung dividends declared to the non-controlling interest. Yun lang yung i-deduct mo sa NCI. Okay. I will discuss all this. Baka na-overwhelm na kayo, pero iisa-isahin natin siya, including the formulas, later on for succeeding chapters. Ngayon, it's just principles. Accounting for changes in ownership interest without loss of control, and of course, the accounting for losing control of a subsidiary. This will be covered again by our succeeding chapters when you will do deconsolidation. So, ngayon kasi consolidation tayo. What if reverse naman, nawalan ka ng control or nagbawas ka ng ownership interest sa isang subsidiary? How do you treat that? We'll discuss that later on. That's it for now. Thank you.